Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, beautiful people. This is Gridiron Garage. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm your host / podcast assistant, Zach Curtis. Alongside of me is...
Thanks for the introduction, assistant.
No problem.
Assistant. Alongside of you is co-host Jake Lawhorn, right here reporting for duty. On time, ready to go. Know who wasn't on time?
Griffin. At Big Daddy Griff.
Watching YouTube videos upstairs.
Yeah.
Listen, Jake put the YouTube videos on. I let him roll.
We were watching YouTube videos down here.
You were in my house, Zachary. I would not be taking this from my assistant.
You can make Griff get lost anytime. You just throw some boating shit up on the TV.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's gone for an hour.
So, appreciate you guys tuning in. We're getting a new audience. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's been following the Instagram, man. We're getting that following up there. And we got some exciting news, boys.
To the moon!
To the moon!
What's exciting?
We have officially started a giveaway.
Oh.
To get the Instagram up to 500 followers.
There we go.
So Anchor is not only free, but now they'll get something for free.
Yeah, they'll get
the
something for free.
listeners will get something for free.
Yeah, dude. You guys will get something for free. So all you have to do is be following the Instagram at Gridiron Garage Pod. And I will be making a post, and it's a giveaway, and you'll get a free Gridiron Garage t-shirt of your size, a free whiskey glass, and 2 free tickets to any baseball game in your market. Could be the Reds. Could be...
Preferably the Reds.
The Cardinals. The only one team that I won't buy for is the Astros, because they're expensive as fuck.
They can't be the most expensive, huh? You think so?
For the cheapest tickets, yeah. So far, they've been the most expensive
More
tickets
than New
that I've
York
bought.
and Boston.
Yeah, well, but I feel like it was also because of COVID year, though. Like, because they had, like, less fans in the stadium. I feel like it wouldn't have been that expensive if it was, like, a normal
Well, you had to
season,
buy
full capacity.
you had to buy it through the app, and so they, like, got you with all the
fees and stuff.
Yeah, so... But yeah, just make sure you're following the pod. Once I make the post, you'll have to follow whatever the instructions are that I make. I haven't really thought of that yet, but yeah. Appreciate the support.
Why does your head look smaller than mine?
'Cause I got a tiny ass head, bro. This little football helmet, I could probably put it on my head.
I watch the videos of us. I'm like, God dang, dude. You got a big head compared to Zach.
Well, that's because you boys need to meet me at 180, boys.
We're like way up here, though. We're farther ahead of you.
Yeah, you guys up pretty far. And my chair has like a gangster lean to it, so if you guys ever watch the YouTube video and I'm like, you can only see
Check
my
out the
head.
YouTube channel to check out Zach's little head.
Yeah, and to see only my head because my chair's broken and I sit so far down.
One of these days you're going down. It's going to be podcasting gold.
Dude, I hope that we remember to press record on the camera to catch that. I wish we had the camera for that day that Griff tried to put his knees up to.
Oh, gosh. Tried to do the squatty potty.
That was funny. All right, well, now that we got all the plugs out of the way, appreciate the listens. Give the Instagram a follow at Gridiron Garage Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. But yeah, so Jake had the podcast layout this week, and you know, I tell the boys every Saturday who has the layout. And you know what time Jake sends...
You send it Saturday so we can do it Monday, right?
Yeah. Jake sends the... We record on Mondays, and Jake sends the damn layout at 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon.
Right.
2 hours before we're about to record.
That's about when it needs to be done.
Oh, okay. Well, guess who doesn't have anything prepared? Me. So, if we have any arguments or anything, I'm going to look like a fool. So, Jake, you're the host of this bitch
That's
this
something
week.
new, isn't it? Zach looking like a fool. Anyways, you guys want to kick it off with some MLB?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you got?
We're going to start off with the White Sox with a walk-off victory from a horrible call that also went to replay. We're going to go ahead and show it here.
Okay.
And so basically there's a hit, grounder to the first base side, second baseman. Oh, never mind. That's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one.
What are you doing?
We're rolling. All right.
That's a big swing and a miss.
Now we're rolling. So now we got what looks like a wild pitch. Catcher blocks it, kicks over first base side, flicks it back to him. Oh, nope. Catcher takes it himself. This is why I can't be a commentator
You should
right
be a
here.
play-by-play, dude.
It happens so fast, dude. So basically, there's a play at home plate for a walk-off victory. What do you think right there? Is he getting tagged? No?
I don't know, man. I don't
That's
see.
tough.
It went to replay.
I don't see his shirt moving. Oh, here's a better angle. Play this.
Okay. Here he comes in for the angle. Oh, they're slowing it down so much.
Ooh, I think he missed the tag.
You think he missed him?
Yeah, and I think his hand got him. Yeah, well, I think that was the right call, bro.
You think it was the right call?
Yeah.
I've seen some videos, and it does not look like the right call.
So for the game that we're talking about, it's the White Sox win on a nifty slide by Jose Abreu. Is that how you say it?
Abreu.
What was this? Probably on Sunday.
I'm not sure.
Is that what we say? So if you guys want to go watch it, I think that the umps made the right call because I believe right there, like it doesn't touch his shirt, and I think that he gets that left arm over that tag.
So I think it was a bad call. So go check it out. Maybe see if you can get some different angles than what we got. But I think it is the beginning of the spiral of the MLB replay. Yeah. And I said it already this year, but it has just been horrible this year. And I don't understand how the MLB can get it wrong when you can slow it down frame by frame and see every little single frame.
I agree.
And they can still get it wrong.
It's like the NFL thing, too.
They say it's not like enough to overturn. I'm like, yes, it is. You can see it clear as day through every pixel.
I think it's dumb, too, on like certain things that you can and can't review, because things like that you can review, and they can review it all day and get it wrong. Mm-hmm. But then Manny Machado basically slides into a guy at second base, and you can't review it, and it was very obviously interference. They just didn't call it.
So we can skip on over to the Manny Machado play, which is very controversial, coming from also a very controversial player in Manny Machado, who's been known to slide in hard at second base, who's been known to make some contact and cause some fights and fiascos with his attitude. So what do you guys think of that?
I've said before, too, man, with Manny Machado, like he's like I hate him, but at the same time, I kind of like some of his antics he does, but at the same time, I like hate him. I don't know. It's a weird love-hate relationship with him. I like when he pimps homers. I think it's cool.
So I think it was yesterday. There was a grounder to second baseman Tommy Edman. He fields the ball, is about to turn two by tagging Machado and throwing it to first base. Machado proceeds to very much last second duck under the tag and take out the second baseman Tommy Edman.
15 feet from the bag, too. It's not like right in the bag.
Middle of the base path. Like not even close to any bag at all. I think it's probably interference, as in you count this double play, and I don't think it was malicious the way he slid so late. It was like a last second decision, I think, to avoid the tag. So I think it is interference. There should be no punishment to Manny Machado, in my opinion.
I agree. That's basically, yeah.
What do you think, Zach?
So, as I've said before, well, first I want to start off with you guys are so soft.
Zach is going to put some fucking shoulder pads on these baseball players.
So
I mean,
no. It's my
in slow motion, he slid into him.
You guys have the softest opinion when it comes to baseball and runners and fielders. And I've never heard you guys have these takes before, and I just want to know where they've come from. You're literally turning this sport into soccer. That is what you guys are doing. You're
trying to turn to soccer because you're allowing illegal slide tackle.
Baseball's not a contact sport.
But
believe it or not,
in the sport.
Believe it or not.
It happens in the sport, and that's the thing. And so I just want to start this argument off by saying I don't think that players should just be running around trucking people. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
A play like this where it's a bang-bang, where the fielder is coming up into the base path where the guy is going to second base, the ball is crossing, they're intersecting at the same point, and Machado is ducking to not get hit in the head.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
What do you mean not getting hit in the head with what, though?
With the ball when he goes to throw it.
Well, he's got to get tagged by the ball.
He's got to get tagged first. He hasn't even tagged him yet. He wasn't even throwing the ball yet.
Yeah, no, but if he's going to go tag him and then throw the ball, he would get hit with the ball. So that's what Machado was doing.
I don't think so.
I also don't think that it's bad because how many times do you see a runner running to second base trying to break up the double play? It happens almost every game.
The rules kind of changed about that.
Yeah, the rules kind of changed a little bit. And you can slide into second base, but you can't go out of your
over, and you can't slide out of the way.
Yeah, you can't go out of your way to do it. Which he didn't go out of the way of the base path. But
he did not.
The thing I'm saying is that he wasn't in danger of getting hit by the ball nearly at all yet. The guy still had the ball in his glove. He wasn't even throwing motion yet. And I think it's pretty obvious he slides down to literally break up the double play. That's why he did it. I don't think I agree with Jake. I don't think he maliciously did it to try and hurt him or injure him, because we've seen him do stuff like that before at first base when he steps on ankles. I think he literally was like, all right, I'm out. I'm going to sit here and slide and try and break up the double play. I think that's what he was doing. And it worked. I mean, they didn't call the first base guy out, so it ended up working for him. I just think it should have been called interference because he's dead to rights, and it's going to be an easy throw to first base once he tags and throws. I think it would have been an easy double play, and they basically took that from the Cardinals. End of the day, it was against the Cardinals, so don't feel that bad.
He never got tagged.
He really technically never got tagged, but
Yeah. Where's the replay at on that?
He ran back to the dugout, so he's out anyway. But
Right.
he did never ever get tagged.
That is true.
He should have just kept running.
Yeah.
He could have ran a second and been safe.
I don't know. I don't think that it would be one thing if Machado ran like 5 feet out of his way to run into that second baseman, but
But the second baseman has to come to him because he's got the ball in his hand.
he's gonna tag him. Yeah,
That's
He's
the only way
gotta
to tag
attack
someone
him.
is to stand in front of somebody.
So then, as a baseball move, what do? You get tagged?
No, if you're Machado,
and then let him turn the double
and
play.
Machado, you stop and backpedal and prevent the double play.
Yeah, so I mean, seriously, if he stops in the middle of the base path, he's
If he
got to
stops
run up
here
to him to tag him.
and then backpedals, he's either got to throw to first and get the out and then get him in a pickle, or throw to second and get the fielder's choice. That's the only two outcomes if Machado stops and backpedals.
So then, as the Padres, you would have 2 outs instead of 1. Machado did the right thing for the team. He broke up the double play.
Well, I think he did because the outcome went his way, but it very easily, I'm saying, could have gone just a double play. They could have called interference. I think
If interference was called.
Yeah, I think they could have just called interference. I think it was interference. I mean, I think he pretty obviously, in my opinion, slid on purpose. Again, not to hurt him, but just to kind of break up the double play. It worked. They didn't
I think
call
it just
the
looks
first race runner out.
different and like super slow mo. When I look at it in super slow mo, I'm like, oh, he looks like he tried to take him out.
I mean, he slid.
But when I
He
look
didn't
at
duck.
it in like full speed, it looks like he literally just like kind of turns into a ball and falls and hits him, so he doesn't get tagged.
Slow motion looks
So-
like he slid.
Slow motion, it definitely looks like he slid.
Here's my argument with interference, and I know you sent me that thing, Griff, but I don't really think it clearly explained the rule. So if you're a catcher and there's a left-handed batter in the box, and the catcher wants to throw down to first base, that batter has the right to the box. He does not have to get out of the way.
No.
By rule.
Gross and
so-
Contreras got a base runner called out yesterday for doing that, or 2 days ago.
This is interference from the batter.
But no, if the batter's
batter's
in the box,
yeah.
he does not have to move.
The batter's in the box. He didn't move, and they threw it. And he had to throw around him, and they called the stealing guy out on it because they called interference on Wilson Contreras at home plate.
What?
I swear to God, it happened watching the game yesterday. Because I'm like, oh sweet, we got a stolen base, and then they called Jason Hayward out for stealing the base because Contreras was in the box.
Who was it? Angel Hernandez?
I'm just telling you what happened. Contreras was in the box, sitting there just standing, and they threw down second base, and they called the base runner out because for interference.
No.
No.
Swear to
not
God.
at all.
I swear to God, it
You don't
happened
even
yesterday.
have, if you're a batter, you don't even have like the time to get out of the way, right?
I'm telling you, it happened.
By the time someone steals and it's thrown down, you're still looking like you're like, is that a ball? Like,
To be fair, I agree with
the
you.
ball or
I think
strike?
it was a bad call.
Yeah, that's a very bad call because you were a left-handed batter and I was a catcher. You never probably got out of the box, and I always had to throw around the left-handed batter if I was throwing to first.
yeah, why would I get out of the box?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying that.
If I get out of the box and then I'm in your way, then I'm in
Right,
trouble.
then it's interference.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So my thing is with Machado running to second base in the base path, how can you make an argument if the runner has the right of way to the base? Like I said, it would be one thing if he was going out of his way to run into that St. Louis second baseman.
Okay, picture this because I know this is a rule. If there's a fly ball, infield fly, and the second baseman's camped under it in the line, the baseline, the runner has to run around him. Right.
Yeah,
So
you
the
can't
runner
run into
doesn't
him.
always have, like, he can't just truck anyone that's in his line.
or
That's not how
slide into
baseball
him.
works.
That doesn't make it. Well, it makes sense on a fly ball, but not on a ground ball.
Because the fielder is going to be looking up and the batter is going to be looking
Right.
at the fielder. He can't just truck the
when I-
fielder.
That
When
makes
I-
sense on a fly ball, but on a ground ball, I don't think that would be interference because both are trying to make a legit attempt at a baseball move.
When I
So,
when I
I don't know.
when I looked up the rule, what it basically said was the fielder has protection from contact with the runner until he makes a play, until he throws the ball. Right. So what I equated that to was when you're sliding to second base, they're sliding to break it up. Almost always, or not almost always, but a lot of times they've released the ball while they're getting slid into. So like the protection's gone there. They're trying to just make him make a bad throw essentially is what like the rule's meant to be. Right. So when I equate it to that. He wasn't even in a motion of throwing the ball. He was still trying to tag him. He just slid into him, which I think should have been interference because he broke up the double play and ended up working for him. But I think he did it in an illegal way. I mean, we can argue rules all day. We'll just go in circles. But I guess my opinion is that it was interference and they couldn't review it.
Anyways, go check it out for yourself. We won't talk in circles. Zach seems to think that it was a fair play, that it's the best possible outcome for the Padres, which is probably
worked for
right.
him. It worked
Probably
out
was
for
the
him.
best possible outcome. I think it was also interference. So we're 2-1 here. Go check it out for yourself. It's Manny Machado and who did he slide into? Manny Machado and Tommy Edman. So check it out. See what your opinions are. Make sure you let us know. Maybe we can post something on Instagram about it.
Yeah, we can put a poll up there.
So we can start talking.
Before we get into all these stats, Jake, I have a Do Stats Matter for Zachary Curtis.
Do Stats Matter.
I got a good one here, right? So me and Jake were talking about this last night. And so the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, right? Low A affiliate for the Chicago Cubs came out with their beer bats. Did you see those?
Yeah, I saw
the
them.
giant beer bats, right? And everyone was going crazy because it was $1 beer night and they were having these 26-ounce beer bats. And first thing Jake said, there's no way that's $1, right? And the Myrtle Beach eventually cleared it up and said, no, the beer bats aren't $1. It's regular 12-ounce beers are $1. The beer bats are $15, but still you get a crap load of beer and a cool-ass bat, right? Pretty cool thing. But I want to say, I did the math. I crunched the numbers. Why would people go on $1 beer night to buy a 26-ounce beer for $15 when they can buy a 12-ounce beer for $1, right? So if you think about it, the math on the 12-ounce beer is about 8 cents per ounce is what you're paying for a 12-ounce beer then, right? Where you're paying 57 cents an ounce for the 26-ounce $15 beers, right? So, Zach, what do I ask now? Do stats matter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it! We did it! Stats matter!
But, all right, so that is like marketing 101 because have you ever seen the story of...
I'm clipping stats matter, yes.
So that's just like it's an old story that we learned. Like if you go up to a guy selling bananas and he's selling what would it be?
When the duck comes up to the lemonade stand,
Three-
and he said to the man, run in the stand.
Hold on.
Hey,
3 fingers of bananas. You know they're called fingers?
So
fingers of bananas.
Swear to God.
he sells one banana for $3, and so people are buying 3 bananas. Okay, so that would be $9. Or
Yeah.
he sells 3 bananas for $10, and people are like, "Well, why don't I just buy
3 single bananas.
3 single bananas and save $1?" And then he's like, "Well, it's marketing because people are gonna be like, oh, 3 for $10, like that's a deal." But essentially, they're paying $1 more.
Yeah.
So that's what this team was doing. They were just like, we'll just get all these drunk people that can't do math.
To be fair, $1 beer night's only like one day a week, so it's like probably normal days a 12-ounce beer is probably expensive, But I think they mainly did it because you get to drink out of a giant baseball bat, and that's
That is
what the whole
pretty
thing. That's the whole. I think that's why the people are buying it because I can drink out of a baseball bat.
I'd be down
take
to like buy the
pictures.
baseball bat and then continue to buy $1 beers and
pour them in the
pour 'em
baseball bat. There you go.
You know the guy that's sitting there with 2 baseball bats, the dumbest guy alive.
He just want to be like Babe Ruth, dude, swinging 2 at a time, warm up, double fisting.
But anyways, I can't believe the whole internet got faked out by that.
Yeah,
The whole internet.
Everyone,
like no one called bluff.
There was like verified people on Twitter tweeting about this is awesome, 26 ounces for $1 out of a baseball bat. I was like, no
You think
way.
like the Pelicans are just sitting there like, this is good pub. They're like, we could put a stop to it right now, but we're not going to do it.
You think minor league teams care about publicity?
No, yeah, for sure.
I'd say so.
And especially for local people, right? They'll be like, "Oh, this is the $1 beer bat that so and so was tweeting about." That famous reporter was tweeting. Darren Ravel was tweeting about how the price per ounce and all this stuff. Griffin from the Gridiron Garage said stats matter, and Zach verified it. So all the big talking heads, all the big J journalists.
But how many times did you guys go to a what are the
Legends?
Legends? Yeah, the Legends game.
I went like 3 times total.
Yeah.
Every single one was $1 beer night.
Me as well.
Yeah.
No, I've been to a dog night too. Bring your dog.
I haven't been
Bark in the
to the Bark
yeah,
and Park
bark in
there.
the park. I've been to a
$1 beer night there was fun though, but they were smaller than 12-ounce beers. But it was just like a lot of beers. It was like out of kegs. They were pouring them out of kegs. It was pretty sweet.
We have a minor league hockey team in Cincinnati called the Cyclones, and I love $1 beer night there.
I love
yeah.
how they put the pyramids up.
Yeah, and the Cyclone mascot like runs into the glass and
No
knocks it
cup
down.
snakes, Griff.
No cup snakes.
No cup
Free the
snakes.
cup snakes.
Are they ever going to bring them back?
Oh, yeah.
Banned
well,
forever?
no, so they'll probably be banned forever. They'll bring them back, but they'll just get kicked out.
You get kicked out?
I think if you keep doing it, they've kicked people out before. Like first
Like,
they
you
just
have to
confiscate
leave
them.
the game for stacking cups
first
together.
they confiscate them, and then after that they did it. So I think the reason they were pissed off because there's Karens in the stands. For some reason, if you're at a baseball game and you're complaining about this in the bleachers, like the Wrigley Field bleachers, right? New York bleachers, Boston bleachers, all like the rowdiest, like big city folk that just like call you the meanest stuff, right? If you're going to a baseball game there and you're mad about etiquette, you're at the wrong place, honey. You know what I mean?
It's like going to a
there was-
concert and sitting in the lawn.
Yeah.
You're like, these people are drunk.
Yeah.
So the old people that are always sitting in the lawn and they're pissed that everybody else is standing.
So
There's like 2 people sitting on a blanket that's
yeah.
getting absolutely stomped on by drunk people.
So it would all stem from basically they built these long ass cup snakes, which are cool as hell, right over like multiple sections of the bleachers. But when they're slinging them around everywhere, all the little like spittle juice at the bottom, when you're at the bottom of your beer is like flinging everywhere, and so all these Karens and people were complaining, so that's why they got rid of them. So I think they do it. They confiscate. You keep doing it to like kick you out of the game.
They need to have a designated cup snake section.
Oh, for sure. It's the bleachers. The bleachers need to be cup snake section. The entire bleachers.
I'm cool with that. I think they should definitely designate like almost like a college student section area.
Yeah.
But
That'd be
for
awesome.
a stadium.
That'd be wild.
So-
Like you designate the stadium. We're like, all right, for those who want to get freaking trashed and have fun, like we're gonna make this super cheap area over here,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and we're gonna make our money back on all of the alcohol.
All the beer sales. That'd be 100% cool. And I always thought it was funny. I think it was Barstool made a shirt, and it was like one of their Chicago pages, and it was the "Don't Tread on Me" shirt, like for the
cup
snake
snakes,
on
yeah.
it, but the cup snake was the snake and stuff, and it had the Chicago flag as the flag.
Dude,
It was super cool.
You didn't even mention the most rowdy group of fans in baseball, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Philadelphia fans in general are insane. They're like probably the meanest fans too outside New York.
Who just got knocked the fuck out?
Oh, that was a
San
Padres
San Diego
fan.
and Colorado.
It was
That
at
was a Padres
Colorado.
fan.
Oh
That was
my
insane.
god! What was the story on that? They
So
released
I don't know the story. I just know he got
heard
knocked out.
That, and I might be wrong, but parts of it might be right. But anyways, that guy in the Padres jersey that knocked the dude out,
Yeah.
his buddy or his dad or something got kicked out for vaping.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so everybody was like cheering that the cop kicked him out, and so everybody thought that, or that guy thought everybody was heckling him. And so I guess that one dude said something just to push that guy over the edge and walked over and just slept his ass, dude.
God.
Dude, he had the whole wobble too. The
There
whole
has
like
to be-
left,
dude.
right,
There has to be more
left,
to the
and then
story.
fall.
Like
I don't know what happened after
I
that.
know
but-
that they're just like, oh, he was pissed off, but like you don't just come over and wallop somebody,
Yeah, dude.
for just like, get this guy out for vaping, you know?
How 21st century is that? I got kicked out of a baseball game for vaping and got arrested on an assault charge.
He definitely went to jail, right?
Anyway, go
You can't just
Tatis.
go slump
Oh,
someone in the seat
that's
and not go to jail.
That's assault, brother.
After it goes viral on the internet, that dude for sure is going to jail or getting charges or something. But
It's assault, brother.
What was that vaping video?
You know what's lame is nobody, like none of the people that came to the guy's rescue even got a shot off on him.
No, I know. I know.
The one guy like leaped 3 like bleachers to jump on his back and then just held him.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna leap 3 bleachers, you better come in with like a flying knee or something.
dude,
like, come on, man.
knock his ass out.
And then the other guy comes in like looking like he was ready to go and doesn't hit him at all.
Yeah.
It's like, man, someone needs to hit this guy. But anyways, that was pretty awesome.
That was.
Moving
rough
on
and
to
rowdy.
the next one. Do you guys think there's an issue with baseball?
I think
Yes.
that there is.
Do you think
There is
there
some
is?
issues.
I think
with
it's
baseball.
going in the wrong direction.
Okay, so MLB kind of agrees with you because they have designated half of the season to the Atlantic League to move the pitching mound back 1 foot. And this is in hopes of kind of letting more balls get put in play. There's too many strikeouts. And I brought some stats here, and this is going to be a 20-year difference. So in 2001, the strikeout percentage was 17%. So 17% of the time, the batter struck out at the plate. Now in 2021, that is up 7 points to 24% strikeout percentage. The 3 true outcomes, so home runs, walks,
Strikeout.
strikeouts. So basically, the outcomes where the ball does not get put in play at all, theoretically. If it's hit over the fence, it's not in play. The defenders can't catch it. If it's a strikeout, the defenders don't catch it. And if it's a walk, the defenders do nothing
Is it
at all.
walk or hit by pitch too? I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
walk or hit by pitch. So that is up 8% from 28 in 2001 to 36% in 2021. Pitches that are put in play, so the actual number, the percentage of pitched baseballs that get hit into the field of play is only 15.8%.
Dang.
So if you're sitting there and you're watching this guy pitch, this one pitch that you're specifically watching, the odds of that going into play is only 15.8%. The odds of that being a foul ball, strike, or ball is what, 75? 85? 85%.
Yeah.
Ish.
84.2.
85% of the time, there's absolutely nothing happening in the game of baseball.
That is boring. Like,
I mean, as a baseball fan, you know there's stuff happening because there's like
Well, some of
the
that's home
chess
runs
game,
too, though,
the
right?
curveball. No, 15%.
Some of that 85% would technically be home runs then, right? If it counts the true outcomes in there, right?
I guess you're right.
Yeah, so
It's
some of
not a
it there is
three-true
some
outcome.
cool. Probably the coolest thing in baseball to happen. I mean, I just want to throw that out there. But the MLB, I mean, the baseball is probably the slowest running sport. You know what I mean? As far as like
No doubt,
straight up
yeah.
action, you know.
I think there's only like 14 true like minutes of action in baseball in a single game.
That's
Which
crazy.
is pretty wild.
crazy.
The game takes what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
3+ hours,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 14 minutes of actual game.
So going off of that, like if there's only 15% of balls that are in place, like I get both sides of like wanting to get rid of the shift and wanting to keep the shift, because obviously the shift helps the team on defense. But do you change the shift, I guess, for the fan experience or for the common goal of winning games?
So the reason I'm bringing this up is not technically the shift, which the shift kind of plays into it, because it makes it so hard to get a hit that they're like, just hit that shit over all the defenders.
Right.
But what I'm arguing is they're going to put the mound back a foot. So theoretically, the batter will have more time to react, less foul balls, and more balls put into play, which probably will result in more offense in the end, which is something I also wanted to touch on, is the MLB offense is actually up in the past 20 years. Not much, slightly up.
By how much?
I
So
think just balls and plays
theoretically,
now.
you're going to make the offense even more up if you move the pitching mound back a foot.
Are they going to keep it the same height?
So it's one thing, I know that they want balls put in play, but by putting it back a foot, like that's going to make a huge impact on how many runs are scored in an actual game and pitcher ERA and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Well, what about the height? Because that's a big difference.
The
too.
height, I think, in this experiment, they're going to leave alone.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they have experimented with the height of the mound, but I think what they're worried about is pitcher injury with the height of the mound.
Right.
If they make the mound lower, that means they're going to put more in the whiplash into their arm, causing more Tommy John injuries.
Right.
Is why they don't want to lower it. But putting it back, I think the studies have shown there's no, because they're not putting any more arc on it, so it's not changing anything about the delivery at all.
Because like if you think about it, like if you make a triangle from like where the pitcher's arm is released to the catcher and then back to the pitcher, like if you move it back but still raise it, does that make your angle of trajectory towards the catcher the same? Like
If you move it back a foot and then raise it,
and then raise it, yeah.
I think it's going to be left the same. So, I mean, the difference between a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and a 1 foot is going to make, it's not going to fall much, but a centimeter maybe.
No, I'm just
You know what I'm
thinking
saying?
like the longevity of the pitcher's arm. Like if you move it back, like if you raise it, they would still be thrown at the same angle. Like, because if you move it back, you're gonna have to throw at a different angle to make sure that you get it there.
Right, but it's only a foot is what I'm saying. Like the difference between the angle of trajectory is like not even relevant almost at a foot. And
Foot's a big,
I was kind of against this because it's been the same for so long. And then someone brought up a really good point to me, and they're like, "So, how'd they come up with 60 foot 6 inches?"
Yeah, I
It's
was thinking about that, too.
Random
It's a
ass
weird
number,
number.
right? And you know how they came up with 60 foot 6 inches is they put a pitcher's mound out there, and it was too close, and everyone was fucking swinging and missing, getting gas blown by them, so they pushed it back, and everyone was hitting dingers, so they found a happy medium at 60 foot 6 inches. That's where they found a happy medium. If you actually draw a symmetrical baseball field. And what you'd think is you'd put the mound dead ass in the center of first and second, or first and third, and second and home. And it'd make a perfect diamond square with a dot in the middle. But it's actually not. It's pushed forward, I think, 3.5 feet or something.
Yeah.
From the dead geometry, whatever, center.
Geometric, yeah.
Geometric center.
I think
So actually, because that would make sense to me. I was like, if it's symmetrical, you can't be fucking with that. But it's not. So they literally just picked 60 foot 6 inches because at the time they picked it, they thought it was fair, which clearly now we believe that it's not fair anymore. The pitchers have
I don't know. I
overpowered
think it's
the
more
hitters
so.
with that.
I think it's more so pitchers have just gotten better versus not saying hitters haven't gotten better, but
Hitters have
I think-
definitely gotten better.
I think pitchers have just progressed more in the time that like what you can do with a pitch and really the amount of break they can put on and with the amount of velocity is kind of unfair in some cases. I think I have a couple points. So first one, I'm not as worried about that. I definitely think the game's slower, but I don't know if that's the way to make it like quicker. I think there might be some other ways that could work into. I don't know what those are, but I'm more concerned that that the MLB's like, yeah, we've guys striking out a lot. Let's test all this stuff out. Versus, yeah, we had a team cheat to win the World Series, but they're fine. It comes back to that every time. It's just so frustrating. They had a team cheat to win the World Series and did nothing, but they're thinking about moving the mound to 61-6 instead of 66. And then also,
Got to break out the bling.
oh God, fuck the Astros.
The Houston Astros ring.
But that's what I was thinking of. And then I had one more thing I was going to say too, and I can't remember. But I don't know. More home runs I'm happy about. I just think home runs are awesome.
You know, it'd be a cool stat to look into. So obviously the mound is 60.6 inches from. Is it the front of the rubber or the back?
front of the rubber to the front of home plate.
So think about the first big guy that comes to mind is Chapman, like how lengthy he is and tall. Like to see his average release point to where it's at, to like how much time it actually takes to get to the front of the plate. Like,
right?
Is it
So from when it releases
like
his hand,
57
like
feet,
yeah,
right?
like whatever, 57.
it's got to be like
57
7 feet less.
I can't. Well, yeah,
He's
I
got a
guess.
huge ass stride.
Yeah, it's probably
Long
54ish
arms.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like 54 feet to react to 105 mile an hour fastball.
And they hit it.
Yeah.
Not very often, Chapman.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
They do hit it.
I remember what I was going to say. So I was talking about just the way that like analytics in general in all sports, but especially baseball, how it's so analytic driven, right? And all these like basically these Harvard nerds that they're hiring for all their teams to break down all these stats, right? So they've obviously made their players better, right? I think we can agree. I tend to agree, and I don't know if you guys do, but baseball players now are generally better than they were in like the 80s or the 70s, right? I think that no matter what the MLB does as far as rule changes, they're always going to find some way that the analytics are going to back up. Here's the best new way to do it, right? So I think they're going to find a way. So say they move the mound back, right? They're going to find some way to either take an advantage of that from one side or the other, whether that's be able to get more break on your curveball because it has more time to develop break, or whether from the offensive side, right? You have more time to react. Here's where we want you to stand in the box. Here's how we want you to hit. Here's your launch angle now because you have more time to react to it. Whatever it may be, I think after like a year or two of like if they say they implement it next year and it's full go, after like a year or two of data, they can be like, all right, well now, yeah, we might lose about half a mile per hour to a mile per hour in your fastball. But now your knuckle curve, right? Trevor Bauer, your gangster curve that you throw, you can get even more, you can develop more break on that because you have another foot to basically like get it to break more. So if you're doing this, your arm angle is here, right? We're doing this or whatever, right? It's going to break right here and they're just not going to be able to hit it. You know, I think either way, they're going to find out a way to just make stuff nasty.
Like, I definitely agree with that, but you also got to think if one side is getting better, aka the pitcher, then the other side is getting better, aka the batter. So they're going to put so much like testing into science and stuff like that to eventually 5 years down the road, it's not going to matter. Like, we're going to be back in the same spot to where
I would say,
pitchers are great or hitters are great.
That's what I'm getting at. We're agreeing. Right. So I was saying like they're going to find one way to sway it one way because whether it's the pitcher still or the hitter still. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. Like the numbers might go up initially, but if they're able to like figure out basically, all right, well, here's the way to do pitching now. Here's the new best way. If they're still throwing nasty pitches, like a guy's still not going to hit it,
Right.
I think it's more so like the velocity thing. It'll kind of hurt a little bit, and I don't know how much that'll hurt. Right. I don't have it till we have all the data, but I could see maybe half to a full mile an hour.
Moving it back 1 foot is almost not going to make a difference, other than like when you're looking at season long statistic total.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to see. Oh, the whole average jumped 0.2 percent of a batting average. It's like barely any movement.
MLB average was 245. Now it's 248 or something like that.
Yeah, like it's going to be almost negligible to the human eye, which makes it seem like, oh, you're going to change the game for something that's almost irrelevant to me. Unless it makes a huge impact, which I really doubt 1 foot's going to make a huge difference. Maybe 3 feet would make a huge difference. Right. But 1 foot at a 98 mile an hour curve of a fastball, like it's not going to make a huge difference.
Here's what you do to make the game interesting. One time a game, you get to designate one meatball from the opposing team, right? So anytime, it's almost like they're calling like an intentional walk, the umpire can throw out and just like give the hand signal with a meatball. And basically the pitcher has to throw a meatball right down the middle to the umpire's approval, right? He can't just like throw in the dirt. It has to be a hittable pitch. You throw one meatball like 50 miles an hour right down the middle to whoever you want. So you can do it anytime. You could do a leadoff meatball. You could do bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Oh, we haven't used our meatball yet. Let's use our meatball. It can come at a random time.
Just trying to ruin the game of baseball.
Imagine Clayton Kershaw out there dealing like a no-hitter.
Or you get a one-on-one fungo with the second baseman.
Yes.
Put a guy on second, me and the second baseman, 101 from 60-foot fungo grounder.
There you go. I'm just trying to picture, like I said, Kershaw dealing a no-hitter in like the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Like, well, we haven't used a meatball yet, so let's screw him over.
It's like your dad's a coach style fungo grounder. Like he's like, oh, other kids are coming up, tink tink. You come up, it's like, ooh, bam, full swing fungo grounder to the chest.
What if the overtime rules in baseball was playing pepper versus the
other team?
Yeah.
I am still all for basically regular extra innings, and then if it gets past 3 extra innings to the 13th, then you just go do a 5-5-5 pitch home run derby. That'd be awesome. One player you can designate as your home run derby guy. He goes out there. It's a 5 pitch. You get 5 pitches. Old school home run derby. Instead of 10 outs, you get 5 outs, and just see who gets the most home runs. If they tie, they go to 3 outs. They tie, they go one swing.
That's why the Dodgers signed Pujols.
That's why they signed Pujols.
Figured it out.
I don't know if
So-
they'd use him for that.
Moving on, our opinions are kind of skewed on this. Push it back 1 foot. We're not sure about the differences it's going to make, honestly. And I don't know if it's worth changing the game. It could be. It could not be. We'll find out in the Atlantic League. But moving on.
Wait,
Pujols.
one thing I want to say real quick. What about the pitchers in the Atlantic League? Imagine if it does affect your stats that much, and they're like a borderline
never gonna get called up.
they're a borderline MLB guy. And it's like if I was pitching at 60'6" and my ERA was a little bit better, I would have gotten called up in the 40-man. But now I'm just
I believe
stuck.
they're pretty far off.
Yeah,
The Atlantic League players.
yeah. I think they're low league, like low A.
A lot of them are.
Frontier League.
Maybe not that far, but a lot of them are like foreign players just fighting for their life almost down there.
Yeah.
But some of them make it, so props to them. But I think that's why they do all the crazy ones in the Atlantic League.
Yeah, I noticed that.
All right, so you talk about Pujols, and we'll put our opinions in, and then I have something with the MLB that I want to share.
All right,
You guys might be surprised.
So
too.
what in the world are the Dodgers doing, signing Albert Pujols at 55 years old?
He's not going to play.
The
55.
slowest player in the entire league. The slowest player in the entire league. Batting well below league average. I know the Dodgers are having a rough go, but god dang, Dodgers, what are you doing?
You know what I'm envisioning real quick? I'm envisioning like a 16-inning game the Dodgers are in. They have no one left on the bench. They bring out the pinch hit for the pitcher, right? He gets out. No one scores. Now it's top of the 17th, and you have no one to pinch run for him, and he's your second base guy. You guys starting on second base.
I mean, I can't even really think of that many Dodgers players that he's an upgrade for.
Well,
I think
yeah.
that he's a glue guy in the locker room. I think that's why they signed him. He's been around.
Yeah.
You think
for
he's
a
going to
long
be in the
time.
major leagues? Or you think he's not? Did they sign him on a minor league deal?
They signed him on a major league deal.
Yeah,
major league
for
deal?
the rest of the year. Yeah.
What in the world?
He's not going to play over Max Muncy. The only time he's going to play is if Max Muncy gets a day off or gets hurt, right? I
Right.
mean, and pretty much all he can play now is first base. Like when he first came up, he was a third baseman / outfielder, and they converted him to first base. And he was a really good fielder back in the day too. But I mean, at 47 years old, however the hell old he is,
We're just spreading lies.
But like, there's
I mean,
no.
he doesn't even know how old he is.
I mean, we already know he's not
I am
as
12.
we already know he's not as fast anymore, right? So I mean, it's not like he can't field a ground ball hit right to him, but he's not
look
going to
at
have
his
that much
body.
range. Yeah.
You seen his body change? I saw like a prime video or a picture of him, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, but look at yourself
dude's-
10 years ago. Look at yourself
Yeah,
now.
but this
Like,
dude, I mean, he's been a
Same with
pro
me.
athlete the entire time. Like his forearms were jacked.
But look at
His-
okay, he also grew up in who was it, Mark McGuire?
Votto's got a better body than him. Than
Yeah,
Pujols.
but look at 2001 Votto. And look
Pujols
at him
got.
now,
I don't know,
I think
man.
Votto played in 2001.
I think you can just see his
2002.
body
I don't think he played in 2002.
shape
Yeah, he did.
around.
I thought he started in like 2004 or 5ish.
was it?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't an MVP baseball 2005. I know that.
I thought that the Reds
I
drafted
think he's
him.
played like 15 years.
Might have drafted him, but he wasn't on the Reds then.
I can't type with this
2006
big ass
maybe?
ring on my finger.
2006.
Who? Votto?
Yeah.
I think he probably came up on 05, 06 ish. Something around there.
Oh, 2007.
There you go. Boom, Zach. Reds
Oh.
fan, right? Reds fan. Am I right?
Dude, well, I also thought 2001 was like last year, not 20 years ago.
So I saw the thing too. Now it said that, what year is it? I don't know. Some year is closer than 1990, and people freak out. Like, holy shit, it is like 2040 or 2050 or something. Whatever year. I don't remember what it is. I don't feel like doing math in my head. One of those years
37.
is closer than 1990. You think about, well, the 90s, right? I was born in the 90s, and you're like, well, shit, 2045 is closer or something crazy.
Wow. I think it's crazy when someone said if they ask for your ID and they say 19 in the front, then you can get your alcohol.
Then you're good. Yeah, I saw that TikTok going around.
Jesus Christ.
All right, boys. I have something that's going to blow your mind.
What's up?
I brought stats,
All right.
and I think they're pretty decent.
I
Or,
love stats.
they're not decent, but they're kind of interesting to think about. So,
You didn't know, Zach, we're stats guys.
He said we're supposed to type something.
who?
We're supposed to have answers.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't have to type anything.
Oh,
It's just something to talk about. So this year, kind of going off of wanting to change stuff and with pitching and things, the Cardinals have the highest walk percentage in all of baseball at 14.8%, and that is from the inception of baseball. They have the highest walk percentage this year in baseball. And granted, we're only a month and a half in,
and
but-
they're good.
yeah, and they're in first place. And in the same year, the Reds, who are in third place in the NL Central, have the second highest walk rate ever. Or no, third highest walk rate ever, second highest in the MLB this year at 14.2. And they're kind of hanging in there. So how are the Cardinals and the Reds walking so many people
That's
and
crazy.
Like, staying towards the top and kind of in the middle of the division.
Reds are number one in offense.
Yeah, Reds are scoring a lot of runs.
They have the most runs per game in offense at like 5.4, something ridiculous runs per game. So that makes sense. The Cardinals, I have no idea.
They probably win a lot of close games, I just imagine.
I would say that walking is one of the worst things you can do, is put someone on base for free.
For free, yeah.
Like, literally, they don't have to do anything, and you put them on base, and they have the potential to score.
Right.
Anytime they get on base. There's scenarios where you walk people, but yeah, I would imagine that'd be a horrible stat, and that if you were leading in that stat, you would not be having a good year.
Yeah, but surprisingly, the Cardinals are doing very well.
So, obviously, they've picked a bunch of power pitchers, and they're just whizzing in high 90s all day, and that's why, right? Or their pitching coach maybe is like, just throw everything as hard as you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
I think that maybe is the analytics talking of them selecting all the pitchers with the super high spin rates.
So we were talking about that yesterday, Jake. Remember last night I was talking about that inning by Verlander back in like 2012. But I'm curious what you think, Zach, because we got in the, not debate, but we were just kind of basically both agreed. But so we're thinking about like a pitcher, right? So say like Jacob deGrom right now throws like an average fastball, like 99 point whatever, 100 miles an hour, right in that range, right? And we're thinking like that's probably not the hardest he can throw. Like if he like reared back and just threw as hard as he could, not like on a crow hop, but just like on the mound his regular release. But he said, screw control, I'm just going to throw it as hard as I can, right? He could probably throw it, we thought maybe 1 to 2 miles an hour harder, depending on how good of a throw he got, So I got me thinking about it, right? I want to say prime Aroldis Chapman, like 105.8 miles an hour fastballs he was throwing or whatever on the mound, right? Whenever he was like the Cuban Missile and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to think of that guy. As hard as he can throw, just rears back, full windup though, not like, he can't take a crow hop, but from the mound, if he just threw and said screw control and throw as hard as I can, how fast do you think you could throw a fastball?
Chapman, I could probably see him getting 108 to 110.
Whoa, that's a lot.
No.
I don't know. I think he could get that if he took a crow hop for sure. But I'm thinking just off the mound, I'm thinking like 107 would be like tops.
I don't think
he
so.
threw 106 in a game.
I think 106 was him throwing as hard as he could.
It could have been. That very well could have been like the hardest he could throw.
He normally throws 101.
Have you seen him?
100.
Yeah, but
right, so 106 is him absolutely gunning it.
But back then though, he was throwing like 102, 103 consistently, more so than he was now. You know what I'm saying?
And then 106 was him giving it all.
Yeah, that was also when he. I'm trying to put a place in my mind thinking like maybe it wasn't the absolute hardest. Maybe he could just like rear back and throw it a little bit harder. So I'm gonna go 107. I'm thinking I can get 107 if he actually was trying. Like not in a game.
Yeah,
he's in a super accurate radar testing thing, and he's just trying to throw as hard as he can. And he's not caring about control at all whatsoever, right? He's just trying to throw it. I think he could hit 107 in his prime. I don't think he'd do it now for sure. Not.
Hopefully, there's not a catcher crazy enough to agree to try to catch that ball.
Catcher could catch it fine.
I didn't catch it. I honestly
imagine bouncing it off the ground.
So that would be sketchy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's another thing too, Zach. You might be able to answer this because you were actually a catcher and I wasn't. But just based off videos that I've seen, right? So think about like these Jordan Hicks Chapman throws, 104 plus miles an hour, right? Mm-hmm. I think I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think it could be harder or easier to catch that if it's a strike, like not bouncing, than it would be to catch like a really good like R.A. Dickey or Tim Wickfoot knuckleball.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because you watch some of those guys, they're just doing this, and it's like
they
literally just drop it because they can't catch it.
Who was the old catcher for the Mets when Dickey was the pitcher?
There's
a video. I'm sure you can find it.
Maybe I don't know.
Like his glove starts at one end of the plate and literally is like catching it like on the bottom, and he's like trying to track it when it's coming in.
So real cool back in the day, but Jason Varitek, who's like used to be like the captain of the Red Sox, one of their best catchers of all time, and he was like all-star, just like he's like a hometown hero for him, or something like that. So when he used to catch Tim Wakefield, right? Obviously, Wakefield's one of the most famous knuckleballers. So a drill that his catching coach and him kind of came out together was catching peas. And so basically, they would sit there in front of him, and the guy would just lob peas about 3 feet in front of him towards him. And I guess they were so light, they would just kind of do this in the air. And he would have his glove, and he'd have to try and track it with his glove and catch it. And that's how he said he learned how to catch Tim Wakefield's knuckleball, was they were throwing peas at him. And then their catcher after him, I think it was Jared Saltalamacchia, had like never caught a knuckleballer, he said. And so like it was like Varitek's like kind of like his victory lap year. He wasn't really doing much. He was like kind of just pinch hitting for him, like that. And they said the whole season was basically him throwing peas at their backup catcher, trying to teach him. He's like, hey, dude, Wakefield's going to play till he's like 60 years old, dude. You got to learn how to catch these knuckleballs. So.
I mean, that's also Scooter Gennett used to have. You remember him? It was like a little Nerf gun that shoots little balls at him. And they would shoot Nerf guns at him, and he'd hit the Nerf balls.
No, I didn't see that.
It's the Nerf ball.
That's crazy.
Because I guess it was like reaction time plus like a little bit of unpredictability. Mm-hmm. and he would just sit there and have someone shoot Nerf balls at him, and he'd hit him with a baseball bat.
That's pretty cool.
He's crazy. All right, boys, you ready to move on to the NFL?
Let's go.
All right, so the story that I wanted to talk about is the whole Tim Tebow thing. And I know that kind of came out in the news cycle before the draft, and then Aaron Rodgers was like, here, hold my beer. I got a bigger news story. But what do you guys feel about Tim Tebow? I'm kind of indifferent about it. I think that some of the things that are being said about him are kind of, I don't know, shots at him, I believe. One that I have here is Tebow's taking a job from a young kid who has played tight end all of his life. And from there, like, I feel like that's kind of a shot at Tebow because he's taking a chance on himself, and I feel like he could do well. I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to be like a top tight end in the league, but like I feel like he could hold his ground.
All right, I'll stop you there, and then you can move on to your next point. But this is the NFL we're talking about. It's not, oh, everyone needs a chance. It's a fair game out here, you know? Like, you lose jobs. If someone comes in that's better than you, you're going to lose your job.
Right.
So I think that is a horrible excuse to say, oh, Tim Tebow took someone's job.
Right.
Oh, no. Like, you want the best players on the Jaguars that you can if you are the Jaguars.
Right.
And if they could get a better tight end than Tim Tebow, he's not going to play or make the team.
Right. And I think that I think he made the team because his skill was there. But I also think that it was a good move by Urban Meyer to bring in Tim Tebow, who literally Urban Meyer developed Tim Tebow in college, went on to the league. I mean, he had an all right average career, I guess you'd say. Some would say below average, but he still has that experience as an NFL quarterback who has won more playoff games in his lifetime than I have seen Bengals playoff wins. A little salty about that, but I think that it's good to help Trevor Lawrence develop, even if he's in the tight end room. I think that Trevor Lawrence and Tim Tebow could sit aside some time and be like, hey, man, like, what do you see as a quarterback in the league that I can learn from? But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think he is a good locker room presence for some people, but I would say your QB coach is probably handling that role, or would get someone else. You think Tim Tebow would sit in a QB mentor role?
No, I'm not saying that he like is asked by the coach, but I could see Trevor Lawrence reaching out to him personally and be like, "Hey, man, like let's sit down and like talk about some things."
I could see that.
That's
I mean,
where I could see
that
Tim Tebow being a good person for him.
Yeah, any player on your team almost, if you have a good connection with, and you can pick your brain. I know a lot of baseball players specifically. Well, they'll just be random people and they'll pick their brain about hitting.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're not good hitters, like, what are you thinking up there?
Right.
Like, what's your approach? What are you trying to do and stuff like that? I don't think, I mean, that could potentially come out, but I don't know if it's
see a coach pushing it, though.
I don't know if it's a reason to put Tim Tebow on the team.
No.
For a mentoring role. I think
I
if they
agree
do
with
put Tim Tebow on, it's because he's still in tremendous shape, which I'm not sure about. He looks like it, but also 33?
Football
34.
shape and like
34 years old?
shape is way different.
I mean, 34 years old,
He's
football
not
shape.
34 is old for the NFL.
34 is very old for the NFL.
He played college in like 2007.
Yeah, the only thing that would say
33.
33 is young is that he hasn't had the 10, 20 years of injuries. Or,
That's true.
What, 8 years since he's been out of the
I don't
league?
know.
He hasn't had the past 8 years of injuries.
I think the only way he honestly plays is preseason and like punt kickoff team. Like seriously, I seriously don't. I don't think he's going to see the field this year. The only other way he'd see the field. That's not normal though. You know that's not
Tom
normal.
Brady pulled up at 43.
You know
years
that's
old.
not normal.
It's a TV
Reigning Super Bowl
I know.
champion
Dude, he's got
Tom Brady.
6 of these bad boys. If you're not
7.
watching him, hold 7.
seven.
Jesus, he's going for 10. I forgot.
But I don't know. I just don't think he's. I think the only way he sees the field, like I said, preseason, maybe some kickoff punt, or maybe if they're somehow the Jaguars are blowing a team out, and Urban Meyer's like, "Get in there, Tim, you earned it." You know, I just until
It's the NFL.
and that's what I'm saying. Until he like. We see stuff from him, like playing at tight end. Because I mean, when's the last time he played tight end? What, high school maybe? He was probably a quarterback his entire career in high
who
school.
knows?
So I mean, until we see something from that, I mean, there's got to be guys that are just way more athletic and way better than him at that position. Like tight ends nowadays. Back in the day, you think at tight ends, they were mainly there for blocking, catching checkdowns, right? Thinking about like the 90s and 80s, right? Tight ends nowadays, it's like they're essentially another receiver, and they're all super athletic. Look at, not saying he's Kyle Pitts, but look at Kyle Pitts just got drafted. Probably one of the most athletic tight ends we're ever going to see. He's insane. Right? You look at think of all these tight ends in the NFL, they're just super athletic. I just don't see that from him at this point. Could be wrong. I mean, I've never seen him play tight end, so I don't know. Maybe he'll go out and he'll be like Gronk, but maybe he'll go out there and he'll just never play. Or I could see him getting cut too. So
Why do you always push the the take that I have about him playing a Taysom Hill role under the rug. Like, that is
I don't
on the
think he's
table.
going to do it. I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it's possible.
But why, like,
I don't think it's going to happen.
that
got
would
the
be
skill set,
so smart
but-
to do.
But when was the last time? I mean, he hasn't like played an NFL game in like forever. Like
I mean, no
I
one
feel that's
necessarily thinks
like
the Taysom Hill role is smart.
no.
Every time Taysom Hill goes in, everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
I just
When you have Drew Brees as your quarterback, you have an unproven guy in Trevor Lawrence.
I don't know. I just
it's 3rd and 8, and you took out our quarterback.
I don't think Urban Meyer's going to do that. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to do that. I mean, because at some point, Taysom Hill still throws the ball. Sometime you'd be trusting Tim Tebow to like make NFL reads and throw the ball too. So, and he hasn't done that since he was 26 probably.
Honestly, I don't see him as a starting tight end, but we will find out, won't we?
So, since we're talking about Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, I saw this and I fact checked it. So, according to the New York Times, 41 members of the 2008 Gators have been arrested.
Yeah.
Most notably, Aaron Hernandez
Yeah.
was on the 2008 squad.
There's a famous.
They were good.
They were super good.
Somebody
they won
said-
back-to-back championships.
Somebody said they should have their own 30 for 30.
Yeah, they really should. Yeah, so that was an interesting team. Coupled
41.
coupled with the basketball team, because that was like the best 4 years or 2 years in Florida football and basketball. They won back-to-back football and NCAA national championships in the same seasons. So it was like Florida football, Florida basketball, Florida football, Florida basketball. Isn't that insane? Back to back to back to back. And so I remember Joakim Noah did an interview once, and they go, so everyone talks about those Florida teams and all the crazy characters they had, as we should say, right? And you think about then, if they aren't mature in their mid-20s to the early 30s, probably weren't mature when they were 19 and 20, right? And he's like, nah. He's like, we weren't. And it's like that. He goes, so what were the parties like? He's like, They were lit. They were lit. He's like, they were lit. That's how they were lit. That's all I'm gonna say is they were lit.
Yeah.
Football and basketball team partied together. They were lit.
I think people just need to chill out with Tim Tebow. Like, nobody has come out to say, one, that he's made the team, the 53-man roster. Nobody has come out to say that he's going to be the starting tight end. Nobody has come out to say that he's going to be the number one tight end in the league. Like,
Place chasers.
just chill. Just let it play its role. But the media also needs to chill with Andy Dalton, my boy. All right?
Leave him alone.
The Bears have
The
now
starting
come out
QB.
twice saying that he's QB1.
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 How many more times are they going to come out and say it?
Until
For the love of Christ, Andy Dalton is our QB1.
Matt Nagy just rips the mic in half. Like, I'm
Bears
tired of
fan.
answering this question.
Honestly, I will say it's genius by Matt Nagy, because I think the idea is that they want Fields to be their starter, obviously, at some point, right? Whether it's this year or next year. So Matt Nagy, he's going for the all-time job-saving moment, right? Because then if he can start Andy Dalton for like 8 or 9 games, right, and say they have like a bad record, they win like 3 of those games, and then they put Justin Fields in. Justin Fields like kind of does a just Jalen Hurts kind of thing, where whether he plays good or not, but
So
he
you
shows
gotta
some
give him
promise.
another year.
You got to give me another year, right? We had Andy Dalton as our first 8 game.
come on.
No, I'm
Don't
saying
say it like that.
But this is like what I'm guarantee you. This is like in the back of his mind. I'm not saying this is like in the front thinking like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. But he's thinking like, well, worst case scenario, right? Andy Dalton does bad, but I keep playing him, and then I get some good games out of Fields, and I'm like, well, I mean, we could have had a chance of making the playoffs if I played him all year. We got to give me another year now, guys, right? He's playing as that card in his back pocket. He can play Andy Dalton and blame the losses on him instead of Justin Fields. I'm telling you, he can do it.
That is true. I think that, honestly, the Bears are not in a situation where they're rebuilding the team. So they want a proven quarterback to take this team instead of risking it all on a rookie QB. Like, they kind of understand what they're getting in Andy Dalton, and they understand that their team is going to pretty much carry with Andy Dalton, and they're going to be good.
You mean
Or
Andy Dalton's carrying the team?
Andy Dalton's not going to carry the team. I mean, I know we love ourselves some Andy Dalton, but he's not going to carry a team to the playoffs.
Football is signed by Andy Dalton.
The playoff, a good team can help them get to the playoffs, but he's not going to carry a team.
So, money-wise, I understand why the Bengals cut Andy Dalton when they drafted Joe Burrow, because the Bears have him for, what, $9 million for 1 year, and then whatever they signed Fields for. But the Bengals had Dalton for, I believe, $17.5 million. So, like, I really wanted them to keep Dalton and put Burrow on the bench just to see how it played out. Kind of what you're saying is, like, Zach Taylor's baiting, like, well, we got Joe Burrow on the bench kind of thing. But, I mean, a number 1 overall pick, like,
I think the
and then
difference-
a $17 million quarterback, like, I get it.
yeah, the difference I feel like there is that the Bengals were already in a rebuild, Like, no matter who was the QB, we didn't expect them to win.
They've been in a rebuild since like 1988.
But currently, the Bears are not in a rebuild. So, like, it's not a good time to really switch quarterbacks. They're only switching quarterbacks because they feel like they have to.
I mean, if the Bears can upgrade their offense, their team could be really, really good.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because they already obviously have a really good defense. So if they could get basically another skill position player, that could be really good. Because I think David Montgomery can have a good year, but I think they need to upgrade O-line and get another receiver. And then, I could see Andy having a better year then. Like I said, we've been down that hole. I just don't think with the offense he's at, he's going to have that good of a year.
I'm excited to see both of them play. I really want to see them both play because we've had strong opinions on both Justin Fields and Andy Dalton.
2 QB system.
But I feel like the sad thing is the only way we're going to see Justin Fields play is if Andy Dalton sucks. Right?
You're probably
Andy
right.
Dalton's not going to ball out with
Well,
6 of
you
the
never
first
know.
8, and they're going to be like,
You never know
Justin
because
Fields in.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing good in the first 5 or 6 games for the Dolphins. They just straight up benched him. They're like, we want to start Tua, and he was like, that sucks. He's like, we're literally 4-2 with me, and I've actually been playing pretty decent. He just benched me out of nowhere.
He's awesome, though.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is awesome.
Didn't he sign with the Jets?
No, he's on the football team
Oh, okay.
because that was the whole thing with that was like their team's really good. They got really good offense and they got a really good defense, but they have Fitzpatrick at quarterback. So people were saying,
Would you clarify them as a really good offense?
well, they have good skill.
getting
They
there,
have good
yeah.
skill position players. Their running back's really good, and then they also got Terry McLaurin, who's an insanely good receiver. Right, he's just a good in general. He's fast and he can catch. And they also signed Curtis Samuel, who's fast and just like speed. Like they have speed at receivers, right? So I think their offense could be really, really good.
scary.
Their defense is scary.
defense is
but
great.
what I want to point
They
out,
don't like Joe Burrow's knee.
I could be wrong. Maybe you can fact check me, Jake. But I believe one of the criteria to make the NFL Hall of Fame is you have to win a playoff game too.
It's a criteria?
Yeah, I
There's
think
criteria in this?
it's either that or you have to play in a playoff game. Like it's like there's like certain things you have
Really?
to do. Yeah, look it up.
What?
Look it up because I saw a thing people were saying like Ryan Fitzpatrick, this is the year for him to like make the playoffs or something like that. Maybe you have to make the playoffs like one time in your career.
NFL quarterback specifically?
I don't know. Just type in like,
do, like,
NFL Hall of Fame requirements or something like that. But I swear there's something about like making a playoff. Oh no, maybe it's like making an All-Pro team. It's something like that. I can't remember. There's like certain things you have to. What do you do to get in the NFL Hall of Fame? There's something like maybe it's making a Pro Bowl. It's something like that. I can't remember. And people were saying this is the year he's got a good offense and a good defense. He can just like coast his way to a Pro Bowl or something.
Stop. Go back up to the top. It says the only criteria, keep going, is that they have to be, a player coach must be retired for at least 5 years before he can be considered.
Okay,
I don't
maybe
think there's specific requirements.
I
that you
swear,
have to
because there was a
reach.
thing.
Or
There's things
accolades, I guess you were
there
saying.
was things going around on Twitter, and it was like, this is the year he can like. I think it was like a Pro Bowl. He can make one Pro Bowl, and he'll be eligible to like be voted in the Hall of Fame or something like that.
Who are we talking about?
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's irrelevant anyway because he's not going to.
No, I know, but because people were throwing stats, they go more passing touchdowns than Troy Aikman, more passing yards than Troy. They're like throwing out all this stuff like that. Obviously, he did have 3 Super Bowls though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On like one of the most iconic teams ever. But it was a funny meme on the internet. I thought I'd bring it up. I swear it was something like Pro Bowls though.
But what's cooler? Joe Buck saying alongside of me is the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman?
Yeah, I know.
Or alongside of me is the Hall of Famer Ryan Fitzpatrick?
They're both cool.
Yeah, they are both pretty cool. Dude, I think Fitzpatrick would be electric in the booth.
You think
Way
so?
better than Troy Aikman. I mean, no hate on Troy Aikman, but I just feel like he's kind of dry.
We need some. I need a roller chair I can slide in when we
Yeah.
start this podcast.
We need like more Pat McAfee energy in the booth. I would love it. But speaking about energy, dude, could you imagine if the Bengals had this, what you're about to talk about, playing Welcome to the Jungle, and everybody's just going nuts in the end zone?
Popping bottles
Hell
in the
yeah.
Popping bottles in the hell. So basically, the Raiders will have a DJ and bottle service in the end zone. So they will have a club vibe in the end zone where they're just ripping music and popping bottles and celebrating, which I think is pretty fun.
Go to YouTube real quick. Have you ever seen their field?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's sick. Their stadium's sick in general.
So they just got a new stadium in Vegas, and just type in like. No, keep typing. So we're laughing at there's this. If you do a guy smoking auto tune, so do stadium field time lapse, and you'll be able to find it.
It's super cool. By the way,
they bring their field in and out from outside so they can grow their grass.
yeah, it's insane. They like slide it in.
Okay, I think that's normal. Yes.
The third one. No, but like so
It's like a rolling field. They roll it out of the stadium and they roll it back
I think that's been a thing.
But the Cardinals,
Well, I think most dome stadiums are turf though.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
so
the
they're keeping regular grass.
The Arizona Cardinals, they grow their grass outside and then they bring it back inside to like how this field is literally moving on a platform. Like
Okay.
they roll it in like sod.
I see
Dude,
what you
isn't
mean.
that nuts? Like
Yeah,
they're
that's
literally
So it
crazy.
literally just grows outside and they roll it in.
yeah, and they roll it into the stadium.
You would think, why can't it grow in there? It looks like the sun comes through the roof.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Probably moisture, maybe. Well, I guess you can put a what do you call that? A system in there, irrigation
So-
system.
Seems
Mark-
like you would just use turf.
If Mark Davis,
But when you
really,
spend
I think they want to flex on everyone.
Yeah, that's a big flex.
If Mark
move.
Davis really wanted to flex on him, really, he would have made the turf and the field, the grass, like stationary, and he would have the whole stadium rolling. The whole stadium rolls
that'd be
away,
dope.
and then it rolls back in. Everything all is on a big roller.
Dude, you know, it'd be a baller move. It would look kind of stupid, but to keep with the Raiders tradition, if they did do turf, paint it like the old Coliseum where it had the baseball field on it. But like it was all
be really
turf,
cool.
but it like still had the old baseball field on it.
By the way, I want to say I looked it up. So you guys were right in the fact there's no criteria technically to make it, but it said anyone can nominate someone as long as they've been out of the NFL for 5 years. And then the voters look at all the nominations, and in the first round of like viewership to get ready for the votes, they take out anyone who hasn't been to a Pro Bowl. Is what it said. So there's like no rule, but it's like a thing. They don't look at anyone that hasn't made a Pro Bowl. That's what it said. I swear to God.
Well, my Madden created player has never made a Pro Bowl. Except won every Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So how do we feel about this NBA playoff game?
I think it's weird.
So basically, the NBA has four play-in games to the playoffs, and the reason why I do not like this, and I'm not a huge NBA fan, so you can hop on me if you want, but 20 teams out of the 30 teams in the NBA technically make the playoffs.
And
Tell me that's not ridiculous. 20. You played, was it 82 game season, 82 games, and you couldn't narrow it down any farther than 20 teams? That's pretty pathetic.
No, I agree. I think it's kind of dumb.
Do you have losing teams in the playoffs right now? Losing record teams?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look. The Wizards might have a losing record.
I would
No, I
assume-
don't think the Wizards do.
I would assume you have a losing record team.
It'd be like the Charlotte, actually. Charlotte, maybe.
There's no way
Or the
that
Spurs.
all 20 of those teams have a winning record.
I don't know. I think
And they
it's-
make the playoffs.
I'm fine with like having like more like games, but I wish it was all like one and done games, like the NCAA tournament. Because I don't think it's one and done. I think they have to play like
The play-ins are one and done, I believe.
so.
No, look how it is.
Yeah, so it's not. So they have to play each other afterwards.
So like for example, the Lakers are 7 and the Warriors are 8. If the
Right.
Lakers
So it's one and done in that
Win.
game, and then they go to another one and done.
Yeah,
game.
but then they could still make it. So, like, the Warriors could lose to the Lakers, and then they could play the winner of Memphis and
Right.
the Spurs. And then the Warriors could lose to the Lakers, but beat Memphis or the Spurs and become the 8 seed. But if you're the 9 and 8 seed, you can't make it.
Dude,
so,
that
like-
is a shit show.
Yeah,
So
I know.
technically,
I agree.
there's only 2 one and done games, and that's the 9 and the 10 seed.
Oh, yeah. NBA's got this all
Messed up.
kinds of
Yeah,
messed
it's all
up, dude.
goofy.
The only thing I just think that there's no reason to play that many regular season games if you're just going to let everyone in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah,
the
for
playoffs is supposed to be the best of the best on display. Like you're watching it to watch the best teams play, and you don't watch it to watch the top 20 teams play out of 30
Yeah.
teams.
I think that
So
the
that's-
NBA
I
is
think it should
also
all be one and done
notorious for
games.
having their playoffs literally start. Well, they used to start in April, like if you started the season in October, and then they would end in June sometimes. Like that is
They
a
last a long
long
time.
ass.
They do play a lot
playoff.
of games, though.
Yeah, right.
And unlike baseball, I do feel like basketball is a very physically demanding game.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel bad for basketball players that play like 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Back to back, 40-minute games, and you're like, oh my God.
But like I was agreeing with you, like if they cut it down to the teams, their playoff system doesn't have to be 2.5 months.
No, I agree. So what I want
MLB did it was it COVID year? They expanded the playoffs, and I think they still might be expanded. Or not.
not that big.
But yeah, that was all. Why would you play 162 games to
Yeah.
let half the teams in? Like, you
No, I
don't need
agree.
that many games to figure out
So
who's the best
what
half.
what I think is
You just need payroll.
so I think they should do a couple things. One, there's a lot of people that want them to shorten the NBA season and then just like start it earlier,
Okay.
like start the season.
So
start the season at the same time.
I'd be more
but
willing
shorten it.
if you shorten the regular season and let more teams.
Shorten the regular season is what they were talking about. That's what a lot of people want. Some people want them to start it on Christmas Day because a lot of people don't watch early NBA games because the NFL is still on. And then people are complaining that like the playoffs take so long, right? So if they basically shorten the season, the playoffs will start sooner. With this, I think this could be cool. I don't think this is going to be cool at all when they start these playing games in a couple of days because, like I said, it's almost not like a round robin, but they're basically like a team loses, they're still not out of it. I think it'd be kind of cool if they just had it like this and it was just one and done, right? Just because these games are up here, right? And the regular playoffs are still like 5-game and 7-game series.
Yeah.
I think these playing games should just be almost like the first 4 in the NCAA tournament, just one and done, right?
Yeah.
Here's your chance as the 10 seed. I think it should be literally 10 versus 7, 8 versus 9. Like just how they have it seeded up there where like the best team's playing the worst team, 10 versus 7, 8 versus 9. And they're playing for the 8 and the 7 seed. And just one and done.
Still 20 teams.
Yeah, but if they shorten the season, I'm fine with it.
How's that?
This is just one extra
only
game.
16 teams.
Because then,
I mean, what it is I think this is the exact reason MLB did it is because at the end of the MLB season, you already know what teams are out of it and what teams are in it, and the ratings for the teams that are statistically out of it, like absolutely plummet.
yeah.
Like when the Reds finally get to the end and they've locked in their 70-win season, and nobody watches the last 2-3 weeks of baseball.
Yeah.
So
No, I know
they
what
want
you
to
mean.
get rid of that, so they put more teams in the playoffs. So when it comes to the end of the season, more people are watching their team like, oh my God, they got to make the freaking 8, 9, 10 seed of the playoffs. And I just think it makes the regular season games so unvaluable. And it already is in the NBA, right? Like they don't give a flying trash about any of the regular season games.
So I saw a funny tweet about this, and people were complaining about like how they should fix it. And like a lot of people are basically saying it should be a 1-game playoff just for those teams, like no playing anyone else, and it should be seeded like NCAA, where it's like 10 versus 7 and stuff like that. So I saw someone tweet, and they go, I know how to fix it. They should simply just let 64 teams in. They all play one and dones for a championship, and then they just use college players. That would be cool. And I was like, yeah, March Madness is pretty cool.
Where would you get the other 32 teams?
I think it was
34?
a joke. I think it was a joke. He was saying, I know how to fix it. Just basically make it March Madness, is what he was saying.
Anyways,
Like, don't watch the NBA, watch college, is what he was saying.
do we have any predictions from the Gridiron Garage?
Yeah, Denver Nuggets going all the way. 3 seed.
Nuggets
Nugs all
podcast.
the way?
Oh, dude, big Nuggets fan.
I'm looking over here at the Suns. I like.
Okay.
And I like the Nets.
The Nets.
How about that?
The Nets are kind of scary.
2 seeds all the way.
Dude, did you see that filthy play that they had the other day?
Yeah, I showed
Yeah,
Jake.
you did.
That's
Yeah,
right.
dude.
Pass behind his back.
That was like
alley-oop dunk.
choreographed. Yeah.
I know.
Very
Dirty.
Jake was talking about it too, and I heard him. He's like, people shit on the NBA for like not trying to start playing defense like you do in college and stuff like that. But then you see him do stuff like that. You're like,
You're like, how do you
dude, that's like
defend that?
insane. And that's a regular thing. Like alley oops just happen all the time. And like in college, someone throws an alley oop, you're like, holy shit! Right? In NBA, like, oh, they just threw an alley oop. Except for that one last night because that was like insane.
That was dope.
That was an insane play. So my official picks, I've got.
You get the
In
Celtics
4
in a
games,
play-in
in
game.
4 games, a 4-game sweep, we've got the Celtics beat. We got the
Get outta
Celtics
here.
beating the number 1 seed Jazz in a sweep.
They're not going to beat the 76ers.
They're only in it because the NBA expanded it for them.
No, they're the 7 seed. They would have made it normally.
Right. How many was in it before? 8,
Eight.
16?
Eight.
They would have made it.
Okay.
I'm not picking the Nets because fuck the Nets.
I think it's going to be the Nuggets and the Bucks in the final.
Dude, I'm sorry. I just can't go against LeBron. I think the Lakers are going to win the finals.
I respect that.
Dude, he's been out for like 35 games.
he actually got re-injured last night, too.
and he stepped on some dude.
I can't, dude. He goes 0 dark 30-23 every time the playoffs. He goes off social media. Hashtag 0 dark 30-23. You can't hate on LeBron. He goes,
you
he
can't
goes sicko
disrespect
mode.
LeBron because of what he's done in his career. But
And like he's literally made the finals like what 12 out of the last like 11 seasons or something insane.
Yeah.
Like I have the Lakers winning it all.
that's like me
I'll say I have them
saying that
beating. You know
Tom
what?
Brady's not going to win another one last
You
year.
know what?
You don't fear the Bucks.
I would
You
say
don't fear LeBron.
shout out our good friend, dear listener of the podcast, Jake Cottle. I'm thinking the Bucks. They're gonna lose to
Bucks?
the Lakers. He's a Bucks fan.
All right. We all have our
Lakers beating
separate
Bucks.
picks.
All right. Say it one more time, Griff.
Lakers beating Bucks.
Nets, Suns.
Denver Nuggets, Bucks.
Ooh.
And that's the show. Jake, send us out here, bud.
Wait, we got bets.
Oh, yeah.
We got bets.
We got so much more. Let's move
We got
this
so much
down
more?
to non-sports.
All right, cool.
We got
No,
bets.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
move
at-
this down. All right, listen. Thursday for the segment that we're not playing right now. It's a good one though. So
All right. Griff, who do you got?
So first off, I want to apologize to our betting bros friends for getting their pick wrong last week and saying it wrong.
Fade Griff.
Fade Griff. Hashtag Fade Griff, because I was wrong. So my don't think about it, just bet it since we brought it back, I want to say, because that was 12-7 in the NFL season. But since I brought
You're
it
0-1
back,
now.
I'm 0-1.
0-1.
Yeah.
I am 0 very 1. So, but betting bros, so their pick this week, they're going Cards money line. Cardinals. Pick the Cardinals money line. That's the betting bros, not dog of the week, I believe, but just betting bros pick of the week. You guys want to bark?
No, I don't want to bark.
You want to bark?
It's not a dog.
Okay. Cardinals, betting bros knows what they're doing. They win tons of baseball games. Look at their stats on their Instagram. I watch them on their stories all the time. I'm like, damn, that's a high winning percentage. So don't fade betting bows. You want to bet betting bows because they are sharp. They're sharp, right? But now we're back to the don't even think about it. Just bet it. Pick of the week. And this time I got some NBA for you. Got some play-in game action. And this one hits close to home because I think this is a lock based on how the way he's been playing all season.
Celtics.
No.
Oh, the Celtics aren't a lock?
No.
Don't lock it in. Celtics are not a lock.
Celtics are not a lock.
Celtics are not a lock.
Celtics are not a lock. I agree. But what is a lock?
You're going to jinx them. Celtics are a lock.
What is a lock? Yeah, the Celtics are a lock. Go ahead and bet on them too. But what is a lock is the Celtics' best player, Jason Tatum, to score over 32.5 points this game. He's been absolutely balling this year.
32 points.
He's had a 60-point game this year. Their second best player is injured, and he's missed the game. So that's going to be more shots for Jason Tatum.
Lockdown D, bro.
Lockdown D. I don't know about the playing game, so we'll see.
Great.
Playing game are even more valuable.
Did you forget that Russell Westbrook grew up on a farm?
Yeah, he did.
He has the
He's also had an insane season. Bradley Beal's hurt. He says he's gonna have limited minutes in the game, possibly. He just got hurt, like I think it was last night or something. He's gonna be playing for the Wizards. But I like Jason Tatum as gonna be. He's their main scorer all season. Their second best scorer, who's scoring 20 a game, got hurt. More points for the number one scorer. I'm going over 32.5 points. Don't fade Griff. That's sharp as hell.
All right. I'll give
Jason
you some
Tatum
props
over 32.5 points.
If over 32.5 points hits, I'll give you some props.
Let's go. Jason Tatum, baby. The future.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Please go bet the Betting Bows pick. Bet Griffin if you actually have a ton of money and you don't know what to do with it.
Cardinals money line, Jason Tatum over 32.5. I just want to say 12-7 NFL season. 0-1 right now, but I haven't bet NBA yet, so give me a chance.
Thank you for all who followed our Instagram accounts. Up over 200 followers now, and we love you guys. Go ahead and like this podcast, subscribe to it, and we out of here.